What an energetic paradise here on Iceland. Energy comes out of the ground, but not everything is so simple. And here to talk about the pros and cons is Professor Thorsteinn Sigfusson from the Iceland Innovation Center. Everybody else in this world actually has to think about saving energy and does research on saving energy. Not so in Iceland.
We have a lot of it, of course. Green energy coming from natural sources. We have the hydroelectric energy, which was the sort of beginning of it. And then geothermal, which comes next to that. And all in all, we are using a lot of green sources for our energy. To give you a figure, about 80% of our energy comes from renewable sources.
Of course, that's a lot. 80%, that's a lot more. In Germany, we have about 16.5% only regenerative energies only of the electrical power. But why not more? Why not 100%?
Well, the problem is that we have to import hydrocarbons for the transport, for the fishing fleet, and for our airplanes, of course. So the remaining 20% is mostly fuels. Mm-hmm. So what we need to really concentrate on now is some sort of artificial fuels, some sort of man-made fuels to replace the imported hydrocarbons. Mm-hmm. And we make them, for example, one of the ideas, of course, the hydrogen made directly from electricity by electrolysis. And then we have been doing some very interesting work on combining hydrogen and CO2 from our industry, or for that sake also from the atmosphere, with the aid of a catalysis, and we make methanol. This methanol can be mixed into the fuels of our cars, and all in all, reducing the need for imported hydrocarbons.
There is actually research on fuel cells, methanol, hydrogen, also all over the world, also in Germany. What's so special about the situation in Iceland?
What our friends in German industry, like Daimler, thought about us was the uniqueness of being able to use a CO2-free pathway. Our hydrogen would come from a totally CO2-free source, hydroelectric in this case, or geothermal turbines. And so it means that the whole pathway of the hydrogen production would not be based, like in many countries, on methane or on coal or you name it. It was a clean, rather almost totally CO2-free pathway.
Will that also give an extra chance to export the new technologies?
In the beginning we thought it would be clever to do it, but I think now we have to think about the sacrifice with nature that we of course make when we harness a river or harness geothermal. So it all has to be thought and balanced.
Sacrifice with nature is also a point here on Iceland. I mean, you have CO2 emissions of 18 tons per person. In Germany, we're about 11 tons.
Something like that.
So how come that high?
This, I would say, our expensive lifestyle, 4-wheel drives, 3 cars per family, etc., etc. And then, of course, we have the industry, our aluminum industry, is burning electrodes which contain carbon. So all in all, this little nation is, yes, responsible for about 18 tons per capita per year. And this is our challenge, to try to get it down.
Are you optimistic?
I'm optimistic always. I work as a serial optimist.
Thanks for the talk, Thorsteinn.